Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood, feeling blessed.
Alrighty, let's take a look at our homework for lesson 4.2.1, problems 29 through 33. Our homework opens with a situation, right? The lemonade stand at the county fair sells lemonade at a price of 2 cups, $3.60. It says complete the table at the right to find what Paula's family will pay to buy lemonade for all 8 family members. All right, so first things first. I mean, is this proportional in nature? Does it appear as if the price would be a unit rate and a constant price for everyone? It doesn't tell us anything different. It doesn't say, like, if you buy 4 cups, you get a discount. So we have to assume, because our prior knowledge tells us that when we go and buy stuff at the fair, or we go at a store or at a restaurant or anywhere, generally, if you pay something for 1, you're going to pay double for 2, and you're going to double that for if you buy 4, and so on and so forth. So this so far appears to have a constant growth rate. And then secondly, if you buy no lemonade at the fair, will you pay any money? In this case, no. So this appears to be proportional in nature. So if we know it costs $3.60 for 2 cups of lemonade, then we should probably figure out how much it costs for 1 cup. And so to do that, we look for our giant 1, and we see, okay, if we take $3.60 and divide it by 2, then we will get our price. And it turns out that ends up being $1.80 per cup. That ends up being the price for, let me get rid of that dollar sign there. There we go. So the price is going to be about $1.80 per cup, and that's what we've got right there. So 1 cup is $1.80. 2 cups would be $3.60. If we double the 2 cups, that becomes $7.20, and if we double that, that would be $14.40. If I multiply this times 3, 3 times $1.80 is $5.40. So then when I double that, that would give you $10.80. And then if you multiply $1.80 times 5, let's just prove that that's the answer we get. $1.80 for 5 cups. So that's a 0, that's a 40, carry the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's 2 decimal places in our problem. We put that back in. It costs $9 for 5 cups. So this entire situation can be ruled by this particular rule. $1.80 per cup, where X represents the number of cups of lemonade you're going to purchase, and Y represents how much you're going to pay for that. So the fact that we knew that this was a proportional situation just by reading the problem helps us fill in this table, helps us determine the unit rate and the rule, and now I can answer any question about any number of cups of lemonade sold. Carmen is downloading music on her iPod. Each song costs $1.75. Is this relationship proportional? And the answer is yes, because every song costs the same amount, so that's your constant growth rate. And if you buy 0 songs, you're not going to pay anything. So how much would it be for 5 songs? Well, let's think about our rule. $1.75 per song. 5 songs, we'll multiply $1.75 times 5, and in this case, I'll just use the calculator. 1.75 times 5, and you get $8.75. Stop it. Stop it. What happened here? Let's try that again. What did I do? It's song is $1.75. Wait. $1.75 times 5. What has happened here? Wrong answer. Oh, you know what it was? Yeah, okay. I've done this before. I'll probably do it again. I like to put in the wrong answers in there to encourage people to raise their hands if they disagree with an answer, or to ask me how I got 625 as my answer. If too many students are quiet and don't bother checking this, that tells me they didn't do the math problem. It's supposed to be $8.75 for 5 songs. That is the correct answer. All right, and now let's go back into our review mode. How do we add and subtract integers and then work through the order of operations? So remember, when you're adding 2 numbers with different signs, you're actually going to do a subtraction between those two numbers, and whatever number it has the greater sign, no, let me rephrase that. Whichever number has the greater absolute value, your answer is going to keep that sign. And here's the reason why. You got the model for 3 negatives and 7 positives. So 3 of those negatives marry up with 3 of those positives, forming their 0 pairs. They go away, leaving you with just 4 positives. So our answer is positive 4. So you subtract the numbers, 7 minus 3 is 4, and you keep the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. You had more positives than negatives, so your answer is going to be a positive answer. Here you've got more negatives than positives, so your answer is going to be a negative. And how many more negatives do you have? 1 more negative than you had positives, so your answer is -1. And in a situation like this, that's confusing, but if we do KFC, we can rewrite it as -6 plus a -9. And now you realize, hey, I'm not adding numbers with different signs. There are no 0 pairs that are going to happen here. So we're just going to put all the negative signs together in one big pile, 6 of them here, 9 of them there, make a pile of 15 total negatives. In a situation like this could be modeled with 4 groups of -2. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, plus the original 3 negatives. This is equal to -8. So if we wrote this as -3 plus a -8, then that's exactly what that model shows us. You got a total of 11 negatives there because there are no positives at all. Even though that was a positive 4, we have to do the multiplication process first before you can add and follow the integer rules for adding. Here you've got 4 minus 2 times a -5. So I think I'm going to change this to 4 plus a -2 times a -5. So we've got to do that first. Now, if you had chosen to do 2 times -5 first, then it becomes 4 minus a -10. And now you might want to choose to do KFC. So that becomes 4 plus a +10, and now you get your answer of 14. And then in this problem, let's do inside this parentheses, that becomes a -4. And inside this parentheses, you must do multiplication first. That becomes 4 minus 10, which is -6. And -6 times 4 is 24. So -6 times a -4 has to be the opposite of -24, which is +24. And then the diamond problems. More practice with the diamond problems. I've explained this a lot. Hopefully you're getting these answers correct. Remember, you multiply these 2 numbers together to give you that number, and you add them together to get this number. So really, what you're looking at here is, what do you multiply times -1 to give you +6 for an answer? You have to multiply -6 times +1, because a negative times a negative gives you positive. No, did I say times +1? A -6 times -1, because a negative times a negative gives you a positive answer. And once you know that's -6, then you'll just add that to the -1 to give you -7. Same thing here. What do you add to 3 to give you -5? You add a -8. So now we're going to multiply 3 times that -8 to give us the -24 on the top. And then this would be the trickiest of them all. What 2 numbers have a product of 24 that when added give you a sum of 10? So it can't be the 1 and the 24, because that would give you a sum of 25. It can't be the 2 and the 12, because that would give you a sum of 14. 4 times 6, that's the ticket. And I don't know if there's any other. Oh, there was a 3 and the 8. But that would give you a sum of 11. So this is the magic combination, and it doesn't matter the order you put those in. It could be a 6 here and a 4 there. And for our last problem, I think that's our last problem, right? Yes, that's our last problem. Lucy keeps track of how long it takes her to do the newspaper's crossword puzzle each day. These are her recent times in minutes. So to find the median of the data, you got to put the data in order from least to greatest. So once they're in order from least to greatest, I like to check and make sure I've got all the numbers accounted for. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers. Good. Most likely we've got all the numbers correct, and they're in the correct order. So now we take the number that's in the middle, but the problem is, with an even number of numbers, you're not going to get a single number in the middle. You're going to get 2 of them. So the median will then be the average, or the halfway point between those 2 numbers. And the halfway point between 18 and 19 is 18 and a half. To figure it out, you just find the mean of those two numbers, add them together and divide by 2. So that's going to be your median. Now to find the mean, you could use a spreadsheet. I think I showed some students how to do the spreadsheet, but this isn't a lot of fun to do. You really do have to add all of these numbers together. So go ahead and use your calculator. The total sum of them is 211, and as we counted before, there were 12 of these. So you take 211 divided by 12, and you get something that rounds to 17.6. Now, which one is the better average? Is it the median or the mean? It really doesn't make any difference. I would say if you had an outlier that was an obvious outlier, then the median would be the better average. If you do not have an outlier, then the mean is the better average. Now, this is something that's kind of interesting, is if I were to pick an outlier in this data, I'd probably say the 35 is an outlier, since it's 13 more than this one, and this is within 14 of all the other numbers. So that appears to be an outlier, except that would make the mean more than the median if the number on the high end was an outlier, a true outlier. And since the median is more than the mean, it's probably not much of an outlier because you've got a lot more numbers over here that are counterbalancing that. At any rate, it doesn't really matter. Both of those are relatively close to each other. Takes are between 17 and 18 minutes, or between 17 and 19 minutes every single day to complete the puzzle. That seems about right. All right. I guess we're done with this homework. How much time did that take? Not too bad. 11 and a half minutes. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood.